What's going on, everybody? I'm blessed to be bringing on now one of the premier photographers, I would say, in high school basketball, or just in basketball in general. Daniel Fritz, how you doing, man?
What's up, man? Happy to be here. How's it going?
Yeah, awesome. I'm happy that you're here as well. I guess we really hop right in this interview. Kind of start off with a really basic question, but I guess there's like no better way to really start off the interview. But just what really got you inspired and what got you like into taking photos that got you to where you are today?
The first thing I really started doing was making like edits, like commitment edits. I had a page called Fritz Edits. I'll show you later, but it wasn't the best. But I kind of wanted to take my own pictures. I always used to take pictures of stuff on my phone, so I bought a camera, started doing stuff with some local kids, and then just kind of kept going at it.
And was there anybody that inspired you, or you just kind of just woke up one day and you're like, I want to make edits? Like, what was the inspiration?
Um, huh. Probably like looking when I was doing the editing. I think I was looking at certain photographers' work, just like thinking that that's cool. That's something I wanted to do. Like this was probably like EYBL 2019 time when I was doing that stuff like that summer. So maybe like A Fox Visuals was there, One Shot Sean was there. Those two guys I looked at a lot for that stuff in the beginning.
So I guess you're kind of like, you're obviously not new to this, but I wouldn't call you a complete veteran. You've been doing this, I guess, for like a few years then, right?
Yeah, like almost 3 years now.
Yeah. So what do you think really got you, I guess, so good at? Because I mean your photos. I think what I like about your style is it's not too edited. It's not like you have some crazy filter on. It's more just kind of authentic. But you always get like these like very like real shots. You have the guy screaming or whatever, but just the whole editing of it is not something with like a crazy filter. It's like a little more basic, and I kind of feel like a lot of the colors pop too, which I like. I mean, it's kind of what got you to that level.
For me, it was just really practicing. Like I just wanted to just keep getting better at it, and I figured the best way, just like if you're trying to get better at a sport, get better at anything, is just to keep practicing. I would just go out, shoot whatever was going on, any like high school sports game, even just like regular public school, like my high school. I started just covering the football team. That and then just a bunch of work, like just practicing with the editing too, trying to find your own style, not trying to look like anyone else's, but not trying to be too out there.
Yeah. Did you have like anybody? You mentioned some photographers stuff that were like your inspiration, but do you have anybody that was more of a mentor to you that was kind of able to show you the ropes?
Nobody was really a mentor, I'd say, but like there were some people that would help me out. One of them is Matt Byrowski. He's from Connecticut. He's the best in Connecticut for sure. He's a pro. Yeah, I don't know how old he is, but he's probably like late 20s. Sorry if I'm getting that wrong, Matt, but he probably helped me out the most with just like early on stuff.
Yeah. And a thing I guess for me, I feel like anybody else that starts off is people always think like it's gonna be like you start off as you make your Instagram page and all of a sudden like EYBL is like, oh yeah, like sure, you have 0 followers, but you made a logo. Cool, we'll credential you. Like it's not really how it works. Like obviously it's like a long journey to just getting approved for even some like bigger high school events. What do you have to do to really kind of get your head in the door and go to the these big time events? Because you've seen a lot of great basketball even at the high school level, and you do NBA stuff as well. So do you think maybe it was because you started off a few years ago where it wasn't as popular, or did you really have to work your way up to get credentials for a lot of these events?
A lot of it is really connections, just like who you can connect with and get in your network. Like I started, like I said, with the edits. I kept in touch with the people. A couple of them were going to Putnam Science Academy in Connecticut. I'm from Connecticut, so I connected with some people there, did some work with them. They ended up going to play in the Battle in the Apple, which was at Barclays in that December 2019. So they took me there. So that was like I had only had a camera for like 3 months, and I'm already shooting in an NBA arena just because of who I knew. Not necessarily even how good I was, just who I knew at that point.
Yeah, I'm curious for you because I see your photos. Like obviously, kind of how we got in touch with this whole thing is because I just kept using your photo. One, I love your work, and I feel like it's good for like I feel like they're good photos for me to post as my interview covers. So I keep posting them. It's kind of how you're able to get in touch. Luckily, you took notice, but I see your photos all over the place. What's your philosophy in terms of charging these players? Was it more when you just started, were you doing everything for free just get your name out there? Like now, like are you still doing certain stuff for free? And what's your philosophy on like who gets your photos and who doesn't?
Yeah, at first, I mean, no one's gonna pay for something that they've never seen. So at first, I was just out there, just trying to get, like I said before, just getting better, just doing it to do it. Uh, I still take some like just like if it's individual, I still take some like client stuff. It just depends usually, like my availability, especially now that I'm at school. But then there's like certain like event groups, like companies that'll hire you for like a weekend of shooting an event, shooting a tournament. And then I have like the teams I work for, and there's a certain group of players that know that they can still we can still link up and do some stuff for free, because those are like my guys from the beginning. But yeah, it's pretty much how it goes.
Yeah, and some people like some people that I know, which I feel like both sides are right. I would say in terms of like, oh, I want to do this for free, like, oh, I gotta make money because the camera's expensive. Yeah, I'm assuming you have like a Mac or something, like something nice to edit on. Like that
Yeah.
stuff is obviously all pretty pricey. So why were you okay with saying like, let me show you, like, I'll give you my work for free, because that stuff is pricey. So it's, even if you're bad at it, like, it's super expensive. So why were you okay with just doing it for free?
I feel like you just gotta like you just have to. I gotta think of how I want to word this, but you gotta give them something to see in the first place, right? Like I said before, I feel like it was important just to like build a trust with certain people, and like have something to post and be like, here's my work. This is why I want you to pay me. Like you don't need to pay me before you see what you get, but like this is what you'll get out of me. If that
And
makes sense.
yeah, yeah. And the thing with that, like, I feel like for me, if I was a photographer, I'd probably do like at least what I feel like you do. I'm sure it's not like that, but it seems like for you, any player that I see has photos by you. That's kind of all I wanted to do is, if I got a camera, I would be trying to get any famous person I saw. I'd get at least like one photo of them and just like try to get them to like repost it on my Instagram story or something like that. So that's like what I would do. That's like, I feel like the easiest way to get yourself out there is just doing like a little bit for every person. But
Yep.
I feel like one thing with doing it for free is, it's like, then some people are like, oh, what, you were doing this for free like, a month ago, and now all of a sudden you want to like charge me like money for this? Like, why would I want to pay you? I'll just go to the next free guy. So how are you able to turn clients that you're doing work for free for to then pay you for in the future?
It's really just like relationships, and it's like things change. Really, like you get better, you improve. You want to make it more of like a more or less like from your hobby and make it like a business, make it something that you're doing to earn money. So people understand like at some point you gotta pay your bills and stuff. But like I mean, back to what you said about just like getting a little bit of everybody to start off, like that's what I did last summer at Pete's Jam. There's like probably half the players in 17U that season have a picture for me. That's just how you start to get your name out there. Just get as many people as you can.
Yeah. And I guess kind of doing that, I'm curious with that kind of strategy. Again, that's what I said, like, I would literally do if I like had a camera and I'm like, yeah, like, I think I'll be decent at taking photos. I don't think I'd be good at it, so I'm not gonna waste my money on a nice camera. But I feel like one thing though is, it's almost like a quantity over quality kind of thing. How do you make sure you're still putting out like decent quality of work if you're gonna get like, 100 players, like just one photo? How do you make sure it's all like 100 good photos that are just 100 like decent photos?
I go through every single one and I edit every single one of them and I crop them for Instagram, so nobody like has to like pinch it or anything. They're all 4x5s. And for myself, I save pictures that I think the players will want. Anything that I don't think is good enough, I don't. Personally, when I'm going through a link from like a day and I want to make a post, I don't post anything that I wouldn't put as like a first or second slide. So that's just how I make sure that what I'm putting out there is just the best I have. Like if I have 100 pictures that I think are good, I'll go through and be like, well, these are the ones that would possibly be like the header of a post. So that's just how I decide what to pick.
Is that something tough for you? Like, it's almost like, it's like this photo, I put my number one, then also put this one as my number one. Like which one's like, is like the
Oh
number
yeah,
one of all the number ones?
yeah. I mean, there's some events that I won't. I mean, sometimes you do like it's really honestly like a sport in a way that like sometimes you'll just get like some amazing stuff. Sometimes you won't, and that could just be because you were off or the game. I mean, the game lends itself to certain moments. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So, but yeah, like there's certain stuff even from like last session. Like I have just for one example, he posted it, but like this, I didn't get to put this in a post. This is
Mm-hmm.
probably one of my favorite ones I got from UIBL since it started, but it's just the luck of the draw with it, really.
Yeah. Well, this question made me seem like dumb in terms of my photographer knowledge, but like, you get a lot of moments like when a player's screaming, obviously it's not like, like a 10-second I'm just screaming and holding that pose, like obviously a quick instance. So how are you always able to capture like, I feel like all the right moments? You just like going like rapid fire and then like, just holding on the button and like one out of like the 100 bursts will be like that right moment, or how do you get those certain clips? Because you just get like, you don't just get those good like still shots, you get like the good like moments too, which just happen like a second. So
Yeah, it's definitely part of what you said. Like the camera quality, like the high quality cameras will have. I can take 13 photos in 1 second for up to like 4.5 or 5 seconds. So that's like between 50 to 65 high quality photos of the same thing, and like just that, and just staying ready, making sure like you're focused in on the game, like you're following the action, you know what to follow, like your instincts. Even just I know basketball, I think a little bit, like probably more than average. I'm not going to claim to be some like crazy analyst, but like I know what to expect a little bit, so I know like where to look, kind of.
Well, what do you think? I feel like for me, like I guess I say how I was looking be on Instagram long enough. I kind of know what the players like to post, or they don't like to post. But I guess just for you to put in words, like what do you think most players look for in their photos?
The kids love when they love pictures that make them look bigger than they are. I know the kids on the City Rocks always text me and they're like, "I look jacked in this picture, bro. I look jacked." I'm like, "I'm just taking the picture. Like, I don't know, maybe you hit the weight room before the session, but they like that. Anything action, anything like a dunk, a celebration, something like yeah, like candid stuff. That's always seems to be the favorite. Like I'm waiting on a disposable that I use in Indy on film to come back, and those always usually people like to
Mhm.
see those a lot. So those will be good too.
Yeah, I feel like it's also sometimes like the off court stuff, like whether it's them like walking away and like a fit or something
Mm-hmm.
like that, or like just pregame. I feel like also too that seems like it gets to be kind of trendy too, with them walking off a bus. Like that's kind of popular in the NBA. I feel like it's now starting to get more involved in the high school game, where now the players like posting more of them at a basketball game, but not like them playing the game. Like it'll be them like warming up or like sitting in the locker room or like stretching or something like that. I think it's starting to become a little more trendy in the high school game as well.
That is. It definitely is. I think that's partially why like the City Rocks decided to hire me and then our videographer now, because it's just becoming more valuable. It's just good to have to document the kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, what would you say? Like, do you have? Because I feel like a lot of photographers or a lot of people that do both, where it's like I'm a photographer and a videographer. Is they just always it's always during free throws, is when they get their pictures. Do you have like a certain time where like you're trying to get like photos, or are you just just taking photos like the whole entire game?
Yeah, since I don't do video unless I'm hired to do video, I'm just taking pictures the whole game, and then sometimes I just try to watch a little because like especially like the high level stuff like Orlando, Indy, those sessions. Like I was just sitting there at I think it was CP3 versus the Rens, and I was just like, I want to watch this game. Like I know I'm working too, like trying to get pictures for the kids, but that was like a great game to watch.
Mhm.
Sometimes you just gotta watch the game.
Yeah, and I guess it's kind of nice too because like you just kind of have like your camera right in front of you, so it's like if something kind of goes down, you just kind of just pick it up real quick, like get like a clip or two, and that's pretty much it. Which I feel like it's kind of nice about being a photographer and not like a videographer, is you don't need to be on the whole entire time. Maybe you'll miss a moment, but at the same time, like you can make up for it with like a like an off court picture or something like that. It's not all relying on getting something viral.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned, you working with certain companies on stuff. Would you say that's kind of what allows you to kind of grow your network, is because since you're being paid by, like Slam Magazine or, I'm sure like Ball is Life, like all those big companies, that kind of allow you to more take photos wherever you want and then spread your brand more that way, since you're not being paid based off clients and instead just based off a company?
Um, I'd say that the brand recognition, like having worked for Slam a little bit, helps just because you can just say like they trusted me to cover something for them. So it kind of goes both ways. Like you gain respect of other people kind of off them a little bit, I guess, by the name value, but you also have to gain their respect enough to have like I had to work to be able to have them pay me to cover something for them. Like I had to get to a level where the work was good enough for them to be like, all right, we'll hire you to cover this. And a lot of the times it helps because like Slam will be able to be credentialed for an event, And if you want to shoot that event and Slam wants you to shoot that event for them, it just works out perfectly. Like for me, that's how the Celtics was. Like they just happened to have a need for someone to go cover it that game, and I was available, so I did it.
Yeah. So what was that experience like for you? Getting to shoot the NBA. Was that your first time in the Sodas? How cool was that?
Yeah, the first game I did was the Celtics Timberwolves. Celtics blew them out. That was fun. I was up at the very top the whole time. The playoff game, I found out I was allowed to be anywhere except the actual court until the game started. Then I had to go up. So I was just down there like for 2 hours before the game started, just watching like the guys warm up, taking pictures courtside. It was really cool. That was a cool experience for sure.
Yeah. And you've obviously you've gone to Peach Jam before, which is a big deal. You've gone to a handful of college games. So would you say when you were at that NBA game, did it feel surreal to you, or did I guess having all the other previous experience that actually wasn't as cool as maybe you thought? Like it just felt like any other game.
I think it was especially cool just because like it was the Celtics and it was the Nets. So like I'm taking pictures of Kyrie, KD, Ben Simmons, who didn't play but was there. They had Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond, just based off the names, just like especially those being like the main NBA players when I guess I was like in like middle school, high school. So that was cool. Also, you're just in an arena. Like Peace Jam is cool. Like that experience is fun, but that's like in high school gyms, and the gyms are really nice. But like I was at TD Garden where there's like thousands of people coming to watch a playoff game and it's bright lights, court. Like that's like unmatched, I guess, to me.
Yeah. Does it all make it easier to, take pictures out in an arena because the lighting's good? You're not pulling up to like an old gym where the world's worst lighting. Like, is it almost easier to take photos in an NBA arena?
Yeah, 100%. The lighting matters a lot.
Yeah. So something I was wondering though, I think I've seen like Kumac maybe take some stuff like up high, but is it annoying when you were like up high taking those photos, or did you actually not mind it? Was that like not a big deal?
I think I'd love to be sitting courtside for an NBA game, but I didn't mind being down there or not being down there, being up there, just because it's a different angle that most of the time you're not going to see. Most of the time you're not going to shoot from. Like when I go to EYBL, when I do college stuff here, UMass, I'm down on the court. But to be up there, like you wouldn't get a shot like that where you have both of them in there. You can't get that from low. So certain aspects of being up there are great, but then certain aspects of just being able to shoot like low like that are also good. But I think I can also move around a little bit more than I did last game. I think I can go to like the exit row kind of areas of the court, so I might try to do that next game.
Yeah. Do you have like a specific photo? Because you're obviously showing me some of the stuff like I can see on your Instagram as well, but like I feel like if it was me, I'd be like, damn, like even some of my own stuff, like just looking at like videos on my phone that I maybe took or something like that, I'm like I couldn't believe I was at these like certain places in time. Are there any photos where you look at them and you're like, damn, like I actually like made this?
Yeah. One was at the Nets Celtics game. I won't get into too much detail about it, but if you know, you know. Something happened at that game that I got. I can't use it or anything, but it happened. Probably Obi Toppin hit a windmill dunk at Rhode Island on his birthday, and I was there. That's like the entry to my website, which is kind of cool. Trying to think. The best moment for our basketball team this year, we had a game winner against Rutgers, and I have the picture that like the athletics department used, so I guess that one too. But just like being at these moments is just so great, like, and being able to capture them, even if it's not something that's like super memorable. It's just like just being able to see like a certain player or a certain moment, it's just special. It's fun.
And now about maybe you a little more personally, you're a freshman in college, or I guess that's wrapping up soon, or has maybe just finished. Just based off, all your I guess you'd say you were pretty big time like before the college school year started, I guess you could say. So in your head, like, was there maybe any doubts of like even going to college in the first place, just because like you're such a future of just being a photographer, or were you always set on like I'm gonna go to college, I also have to try to balance them out?
Yeah, I always wanted to go to college because I wanted to work for like a athletics department. I'm gonna try to get more involved here, just doing like more basketball stuff, just because it's what I wanted to do. But going here is good. Like working for an athletic department, taking pictures for an athletic department, working for like a basketball team. That's not an experience you get if you don't go to college. So that was the difference for me.
And working at UMass or taking photos for them is obviously very cool. Are they in the A10 or no? Or am I making that
Yeah,
up? I don't
yeah,
know.
they're in the 10.
Yeah, I mean that's like a really good conference in my opinion, probably the best mid major. But for you, since you've taken a lot of also like high major talent, were you at all like okay, I don't know what your college decision was based between, but were you maybe considering going to like a high major school as well, and what chose you to go to UMass instead?
I didn't start taking pictures like seriously when I picked UMass, so I didn't really pick it based off anything. But like it would be cool, of course, to cover like a high major team. But you just keep working every day, keep your options open. I guess.
Yeah. So wait, but in 2020 you weren't like you were still in high school though, right?
Yeah, I took a gap year, so that's why I'm a freshman now. Like 2020,
Oh, okay,
yeah,
yeah. 'Cause I was about to say, I'm like, where some of these photos, like, I'm like, if you're not taking this seriously, like, I'm like, that doesn't make any. Then I'd
I
be
think
like,
the
oh,
first thing that I would say I did a good job at was like the prep championship where like T Clark played, Brewster Putnam was playing with like DeMar Langford, uh, what's his name? Oh wait, no, DeMar Langford was on Brewster too. I forget. Oh, Putnam was like Juju Murray was on the team, but he wasn't there. Hassan Dr. He was there. He was their main player, but yeah, like that. That was like March. That was right as COVID hit, and like a couple days before that was that URI game where Obi had the dunk.
mhm.
So right
So,
around COVID time.
so what led you to then end up taking a gap year? Was that like to take photos, or what was the point of that?
I knew that I was gonna lose a year just sitting and like doing work at home anyway, and I wasn't gonna get to shoot sports because it was gonna be limited with like COVID stuff. So I didn't even bother. I just took the year off, cut
Mhm.
my year.
So you just kind of just like chilled and whatever.
Yeah, I did some work, but I pretty much just chilled.
Yeah. So I guess then coming into college, like as a freshman, technically like sophomore, did was it harder for you to make friends since like people were technically like all your friends were like older than you and sophomores, or how are you able to adjust to college, kind of going in and not really knowing anybody that's now like in your grade?
It's really the same as like if you were to just move to a high school or move anywhere. Like you just meet new people. It kind of just happens. Like, and I also knew some of the players from like doing sports stuff, like taking pictures of practices before, and then I knew some of them just from like even like AAU stuff. So it wasn't that hard for me, but I think the adjustment's probably different for everybody else, or for everybody differently.
Yeah. What do you? I mean, are you studying like photography in college, or what's your major?
Sport management. Yeah, so
Yeah.
if I can incorporate doing this with something else, that's the goal.
So do you have like any sort of vision, or you just want to know you want to like just combine the two somehow?
That's the vision right now. There's nothing really specific, I guess. Still just trying to
Yeah.
figure it out.
I estimate like I don't know if this exists like a sports marketing firm kind of thing somehow with like the photos and graphic design background, like being able to be like more promotional. I feel like all that stuff could be useful.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think because next year I think my major I'm trying to do marketing with a minor in sports management. So I'm
That's
trying to kind of do like something similar with that because like I have the Instagram. I kind of know like what it was like to promote myself, and I want to like somehow combine that with like promoting athletes and like hopefully being an agent or something like that. So it's kind of how I see it. I guess
yeah.
kind of similar to you, I would say.
Did you pick a school for next year?
Yeah. I'm going to FSU. So
Nice.
yeah,
Nice. Good
yeah,
sports. Let's go.
yeah. I mean, our football is not like not too good, but basketball. I think we're gonna be really good next year. I hope so. We'll see where that takes me, but yeah, I mean, if I can somehow get like in with that program, not as like a photographer or anything, but more as like a intern, like operations kind of thing is what I'm
Yeah,
trying to do.
gotta reach out.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Like I don't like to talk too soon, but like I'm working on it. I guess that's all I'll say is like I'm doing my thing.
Nice.
So yeah, I don't like to like jinx things, but like I'm doing my stuff. But yeah, I think we're gonna be pretty nasty. So I'm hoping that really helps out.
Good.
Yeah, but I guess continuing on a couple more questions.
Sure.
We'll wrap it up with more just overall things. Do you have like a favorite photo or like the favorite person you took a photo of?
Some favorites probably the one like Taylor Bowen at the at his old school in Rhode Island, like on the beach. So those probably some of the Terrence ones from right like that March at Brewster. Um, Probably honestly maybe that Tatum one I just showed you. Some of the Hoop Hall stuff was good. Some of the YBL stuff is good. And then I mean I kind of just have certain favorites just because of the players. Just like I know some of the players more than others. Like other players more friendly with some of the guys. So they just those pictures will rank higher for me.
Yeah. Is there any player like, I mean, aside just of LeBron James, like, Kevin Durant, like, I feel like you really done like everybody, but is there like, somebody that you're like, yeah, I really want to take photos for this person or of this person really bad?
Bol Bol is definitely up there.
Is that
Yeah, Bol is probably the number one.
is that like a meme kind of thing, or like why
I
like,
just I always have him in my franchise in 2K, and he's nasty. I just always like watching him play. Like high school, he was nuts. Oregon, he was nuts. Like now he got his surgery. He got traded to the young team in Orlando. So I think that he might get his chance to be great now. So he's definitely on the list.
So all because of NBA 2K, he's like one of like your favorite players.
Yeah, it's just crazy that he's 7'2" and he can dribble the ball and shit. So
Yeah,
I know.
no. I think I think he's crazy for sure. And I guess there's like, well, I guess they're not related, but then there's other guy, John Bull on Mocan too.
Yeah, I
I
just saw
guess.
him. He looked good.
Yeah. I wasn't like, I mean, I don't want to like hate on him because I think he, I don't know if he still follows me, but he hit me with a follow back after they posted our interview. So I'm not trying to like hit on him, but like yeah, he's pretty good. I wasn't paying too much attention during his game, but no, he's
Yeah.
definitely solid. And I
I
think
like
he's young.
watching Omaha a lot, so I kind of tuned in a little bit. I watched the other game that I watched in full was Mocan versus Durant, which was a good game.
Mhm.
I like watching Kwame Evans and Sean Simmons.
Yeah. Would you at all try to maybe transition into some sort of like scouting or like, be kind of active on Twitter? Because I feel like a lot of media people, like I was talking to my dad with this yesterday. I'm not good, like I'm not too confident like my analysis is, but there's some players that are ranked higher than others, and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense to me. Like I'm gonna be so proud of myself if when they're all like in the NBA, like if I'm right about every person that's a bust, everyone who's on a bust, like
Yeah.
do you really think like, you know, you think you can maybe turn into like a scout or something like that? Because you have seen a lot of basketball, and I think any media person has been doing it like as much as you do is a pretty reliable source.
Yeah, honestly, I'm probably too biased, honestly, but I love watching it, and I like talking to I talked to like Adam Finkelstein. I talked to the Draft Express guy, Gavoni. He's really nice.
Mhm.
So like I've talked to Paul Biancardi on Instagram. I like just chopping it up with them, just seeing why they have certain players in certain spots. But like I don't know if I could be a scout, but like I love watching the game. I like working with the players too, so that there's always like agency management stuff too.
Yeah, for sure. And then I guess a question maybe someone that the only one I talk to, content creators, since I guess I kind of fall into that boat. Obviously, we kind of just met you like, a couple weeks ago at that UIBL in Orlando. I was like sat next to you. I'm like, oh, like I know you and whatever. And now
Yeah.
I do this interview. But would you have any? I feel like what I do is kind of unique, a little different. But would you have any advice about what I do to kind of get myself like more out there and just build my page to like more validity?
I think you're doing a good job. I think like you came up to me and I respected that because you knew who I was. I thought that was cool. Like you tell people who you are. That's always good. Like I took a picture of Rob Dillingham like in Indy. He didn't know who I was just because he didn't know what I looked like. So like I took a picture of him and I told him who I was and he knew who I was. Like we talked for a minute. Just introducing yourself to people. Really, that's the best way to do it. Connections, networking. You know what you're doing. So
Yeah. I guess what like I'm trying to do with that is kind of what you did. I don't know if you always had a picture of yourself as like your profile picture, but like I just made mine. Like I used to be my logo, and I like just changed it to a picture of me, like still wearing my shirt. Like I always wear that. Like I have like a few shirts with my logo on it. I always wear that, but it's like of my face wearing the shirt because especially for what I do, like you shouldn't know the logo if I do like interviews. You should know like who I am. I feel like so I made
yeah,
like I changed from my Instagram used to be like my username or whatever used to be like the name I think they call it. It used to be like iHoopsFL, but now it's like my like literal like birth name. I feel like it's good too. So people start to know me more, like more personally, is like what I was trying to do to kind of combat that. So people just don't know the logo and they actually kind of know the face.
Mine used to be just a cartoon picture of me, which is funny, but like yeah, now mine's that. But I think it's kind of funny sometimes when people just walk by me and don't know who I am, because like they text me and stuff, like they know what I do, but they don't know what I look like, which is just funny. I could just be there, kind of
Yeah.
like hiding, invisible.
Yeah, for me, I'm always like shocked if people know. Like, if someone's like, "Oh yeah, I know you," I'm like, no, like, I'm just like blown away. Like if I usually like feel like I kind of lie like under the radar a little bit, but yeah, I mean, hopefully I get to that level. You know, that would be kind of sick if everyone's like, "Oh shoot, no way, that's you." Like that always gets kind of cool, but I don't know if that'll happen. But that's definitely the goal.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So looking in the future, um, I guess I don't know. I usually ask the players more like towards basketball players. I guess you don't really do that, but as kind of once you kind of end your photography journey or whatever you want to call it, sports journey, what would you like to say? Like you accomplished.
Um, I just want to. I mean, keep getting better. Just keep working for cool people, doing cool stuff. Just giving people what they want to see. Just keep developing relationships. I think everything's going great right now. I can't complain at all. So just keep building on what's already there. You know.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. Well, I guess maybe one more thing we gotta do. A little tradition where we each gotta summarize the interview in one word, like putting the person on the spot. So, I guess for me, just based off your work, I'm gonna go high quality because I feel like a lot of the stuff you've done, a lot of high quality experiences, a lot of high quality photos, especially being a photographer. I feel like it kind of relates to technology and like what you do. So, I would say to kind of summarize the interview, I think I would go with high quality.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Well, so what do you think your word would be to kind of summarize the interview and kind of like what we talked about?
I can't take yours. Yours is good. I don't know. This is a good question. What do people usually say to this?
I mean like the cringier ones. I thought a few good ones. The cringy ones usually like blessed or like something like that. That's usually what I usually get. Um, but yeah, I like putting the people on the spot. I think it's kind of cool like watching them think for a
I
little
think
bit.
like something like optimistic. Like we're both doing what we're doing at a high level, and we're both going up with it. So it's like just keep going up. Optimistic for the future.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely a cute response. But anyways, man, make sure you guys give us both a follow on Instagram. His is at D Fritz Photos. And mine's at iHoopsFL. And anyways, for one of the premier photographers in basketball, Daniel Fritz. I'm Isaac Fleischer. And this has been another iHoopsFL interview. Peace out, guys.